Hello friends, in the series on income tax cases, today we will discuss a case which is based on the addition under section 69A by the assessing officer in case the assessee says that the cash deposited represents the sales of the assessee and the assessee files written under section 44AD. The issue before the ITAT SMC bench was that if the assessee files written under section 44AD and shows that the cash deposits is part of the sales of the assessee and the assessing officer does not reject the return of the assessee under section 44AD for valid reasons, so whether in that case the assessing officer is justified to make the addition of the cash deposit under section 69A. This issue has been taken up by the tribunal in the case of Ashish Goyal versus income tax officer, and the ITA number of the case is 1507 Del/2026. The judgment date of this case is 7th April 2026. In the present case, there was an issue of deposit of cash of amounting to rupees 7 lakh. The assessee has filed the return under section 44AD, and that cash was part of the sale of the assessee, and the assessee has filed the return under section 44AD, which is presumptive taxation. While the assessment was going on, the assessing officer of the view that this cash deposit is not the part of the regular sale of the assessee, and the assessing officer made the addition of rupees 7 lakh under section 69A, which is for unexplained money. The assessee pleaded that rupees 7 lakh is not the unexplained money, and it is very much part of the sales of the assessee, and the assessee has shown that sales as per section 44AD and has paid the tax as per the presumptive taxation. The additions was made of rupees 7 lakh, and when the matter was before the CIT appeal, the CIT appeal also upheld the order of the assessing officer. So the assessee filed the appeal before the tribunal. The tribunal said that in the present case, the assessing officer has not doubted or has not rejected the return filed by the assessee under section 44AD. When the assessee files the return under section 44AD for the amount of cash deposit in the bank account, so in that case, without doubting the presumptive taxation of the assessee or without rejecting that presumptive taxation scheme for valid reasons, the tribunal was of the view that the addition of the same amount cannot be made under section 69A. So the tribunal accordingly deleted the addition made by the assessing officer for the cash deposit which was part of the turnover under section 44AD. Friends, apart from deletion of this demand by the Honorable Tribunal, I am of the considered view that section 69A is applicable for unexplained money, bullion, jewelry or any other valuable article. So for the attraction of section 69A for additions being made under that section, it is very important that the assessee should be found the owner of some money, bullion, jewelry or any other valuable article, and which is not recorded into the books of accounts, if any, maintained by the assessee. So in the present case, when the assessing officer makes the addition under section 69A without recording the satisfaction that the assessee is the owner of any money, bullion, jewelry or any other valuable article, so the addition should not sustain under section 69A. The simply reason, if the assessing officer gives that the unexplained money represents the cash and the assessee do have the cash, so until and unless there is some evidence that the assessee is holding that cash, the addition is not justified under section 69A. When the assessee files the return under section 44AD, it is a very common practice among the assessing officers that they add the amount under section 69A by rejecting the 44AD return or without commenting any on that return. Even if they reject the 44AD return, the reasons for rejections are not given. So all these cases can be covered by this case, although it is a very small judgment, but it is very helpful for those assessees where the additions have been made under section 69A and where the assessee has filed the return under section 44AD. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Ashish Goel versus Income Tax Officer, and this case is reported the site ITA number 1507/Del/2026, and the date of the judgment is 7th April 2026. Thank you, friends.